Welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts video. Thank you for joining me, and today I'm going to be entering a contest for my good friends Derek and Mrs. B. They have recently surpassed 100 subs on the YouTube channel, so I want to congratulate you on that. I really enjoy your channel. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. The first 100 seems like it takes forever to get, but it goes quicker after that, so they want to give back to the community, so they're having a contest, and they're giving away a beautiful collector's piece. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you to go over to his channel and click the video, and you can watch the contest rules video, I guess. He does have, Derek and Mrs. B have, I think there's 4 rules for the contest. The first one is a no-brainer. You have to be a subscriber. 2, you have to make a video entry. 3, the video entry has to be at least 3 minutes long. And 4, you have to link your video entry in the comments section of his contest video on his page. Very simple. That's how all the contests seem to work. By linking the video in the comments section below it, it's a lot easier for Derek and Mrs. B to keep track of each of the entries, so that way they don't have to check all over YouTube looking for videos and all that, and they have it all in one spot. It's nice and neat. And not only that, but you guys can also go check out the other videos and maybe find channels that you're interested in, and might make a new subscriber or two, or find a channel you like. So Derek wants us to talk about our favorite movie quote. He said it doesn't matter what genre, it could be anything, you know, whatever your favorite movie quote is. I'm going to go with, I have 3 different quotes, and these are not necessarily my favorite quotes because I was sitting there trying to think. There are so many different quotes that I love in movies. I don't really have a favorite, but I do have favorites, and I'm going to do these in no particular order. The first one here is from one of the movies from the Man with No Name trilogy, the Clint Eastwood set series here, the Sergio Leone films. And I'm going to talk about A Fistful of Dollars. The movie is from 1964. And it's the apologize to my mule scene. And in the scene, Clint Eastwood's character comes riding into town. And he's met by 3 bad guys, I guess, kind of town bullies, bandoleros, whatever you want to call them. And without even any words exchanged, they just kind of look at him and they fire shots at Clint Eastwood's mule's feet. And it freaks the mule out, obviously, like it would. And the mule takes off running. And Clint Eastwood can see that the mule's out of control. So as he's trying to get off this mule, he sees there's like a wooden post, kind of like a mail catch for like the old stagecoaches, and he jumps up and he grabs onto this post, and the mule takes off in the distance, and you don't see him again. And so Clint Eastwood walks into the tavern, and he talks to the bartender a little bit, and he comes back out, and he's going to go approach these men that are down at the end of town, at the end of the thoroughfare. And as he's walking down there, he comes across like the town gravedigger, or the mortician, or whatever his title was. And Clint Eastwood says to him, he holds out 3 fingers and he says, "Get 3 coffins ready." So he walks down to the end of the town, and he sees these men, and they're kind of laughing at him. They're having sport of him, and he says, "I don't think it's nice you laughing at my mule. You see, my mule don't like people laughing at him. Now, if you apologize like I know you're going to, I might convince him you didn't mean it." And the guys are kind of looking at each other like, is this guy for real? You know, they're laughing, and one of them draws the gun, and Clint Eastwood shoots 4 men dead. Bang, bang. You know, I mean, just I think he kills 4 men with 4 bullets. And as he's turning back to go toward the saloon, he sees that same gravedigger, and he says to him, he holds up 4 fingers, he says, "My mistake, 4 coffins." So I thought that was great. That's an awesome line. There's so many one-liners like that in the Clint Eastwood movies. I'm going to link each of these quotes down below, so you guys can go check those out as well if you'd like to. That's definitely one of my favorite quotes in any movie. The second one is from, I don't have the Godfather 2 on Blu-ray, and actually I don't even have Godfather 2 or 3 in my collection right now. I used to have the DVDs, but I sold them hoping to get the Godfather Blu-ray box set, and I just haven't picked it up yet. But it's definitely on my radar. So I'm showing you the Godfather Part 1, but I'm going to be talking about the Godfather Part 2. Godfather Part 2 was made in 1974. It's a very important series. I love this series. I watched these with my dad growing up. You know, I think Part 2 is just as good as Part 1, and I think the series combined is about like 9 hours long. So it's a long one, but it's very, very good. It's a masterpiece. And there's a scene in Part 2 where John Cazale was, who was Fredo in the movie. He's kind of the bumbling brother who's always kind of messing up. He got mixed up in bad deals with like Mo Green, and he was always trying to earn respect, but he was making bad decisions at the same time. And he was the older brother, but Michael Corleone, who was played by by Pacino, got all the respect. The father trusted him with the business, the family, making decisions. And it kind of burned Alfredo up. And he ended up making a horrible mistake, and he went behind the family's back. And he was trying to conduct business on his own, and I think he was trying to do the right thing, and he was trying to get the respect that he thought he deserved. But he ended up screwing up bad. And if you guys seen the movie, you know what happens after that. That's later in the movie, he gets the kiss of death from his brother, but that's not what I'm going to talk about here. There was a little bit of dialogue before the scene that I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into all of that dialogue, but I will link that clip down below, and you can see the dialogue before the quote I'm going to say right now. But in the dialogue, the last of the words said by Michael Corleone were, "It's the way Pop wanted it." And then this is where John Cazale's character, who was Fredo in the movie, says, I'm not going to... This scene right here, it touches me. It gives me the chills every time because you can feel for this character. So I'm not going to give all the emphasis and the emotion that he did in the line. I'm just going to give you the line, but you got to go check it out down below to get the full effect of it. He says, "It ain't the way I wanted it. I can handle things. I'm smart, not like everybody says, like dumb. I'm smart and I want respect." And for some reason, that line gets me, because here's a guy who failed at everything, but he tried. He tried his hardest to get the respect and love that he wanted to get from his father and his brother, and he just couldn't get it. And it ended up costing him his life, unfortunately. And it's a beautiful line. I'm going to link that down below. I encourage you guys to please go check these out. So here I got a couple notes here on the side because it's hard to remember everything. But yeah, so that was my number 2, and this is the third and final quote that I'm going to talk about. So I'm sorry the video's too long. I just like to get into these a little bit, and you know, I like to make a little bit longer videos, not 3. You know, I like 10 or longer. But this is easily one of my favorite movies. It's right up there to me with The Outlaw Josie Wales. It's a very, very close second to me for all-time best Western. And there are so many good characters in this movie and so many good one-liners. You know, it's hard to pick your favorite one-liner from this film. By the way, this is a Zavvi Steelbook. This is the 1-disc edition. And this is the digipack that came out in the U.S. probably 10 years ago or so, or maybe even longer. It has a whole bunch of special features on there. This is a really nice edition. But my favorite, I think my favorite quote or one-liner in this movie is at the very end of the film. By the way, I think Val Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday is easily one of the best characters in film history. It's such a great character. And Kurt Russell playing Wyatt Earp, this movie was almost flawless. It's a beautiful movie. But anyway, at the very end of the movie, Doc Holliday was lying on his deathbed. He was suffering from tuberculosis. He had a lung disease. He was coughing up blood. He wasn't keeping it, his weight was getting, he was getting very thin and weak and frail, and he just didn't have it anymore. Johnny Ringo, who was one of the fastest guns in the West, was going to duel with Wyatt Earp. And Doc Holliday knew that there was a good chance that Wyatt Earp would get killed by Johnny Ringo because Johnny Ringo was the fastest. I mean, there was only one man that was faster, and if you saw the movie, you know who that is. But so Johnny Ringo was waiting at this part of town in like the woods, I guess. And you see a figure come walking through the woods, and Johnny Ringo thinks it's Wyatt Earp. And he says, well, I didn't think you were going to make it. And then he looks and sees that it's Doc Holliday, and his eyes get real big. And Doc Holliday says to him, I'm your huckleberry. And Johnny Ringo just kind of starts stuttering and stammering. And he says, why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave. And then they have a couple more lines of dialogue, and then they get into the little duel. And Doc Holliday shoots Johnny Ringo right between the eyes with one shot. And he tells him, you're no daisy at all. And that whole scene at the end is beautiful. It's such a great cinematic piece of history, and I love it. It's so entertaining. I'm going to also link that down below so you guys can go check those out. And all these clips that I'm telling you guys about, they're only a couple minutes long, 2 or 3 minutes. So I really suggest that you guys go check these out. And if you haven't seen any of these movies, definitely do yourself a favor. And these are full of one-liners and memorable quotes. So Derek and Mrs. B, congratulations. Mrs. B, I hope you get better soon. I know you had a head cold, and I'm fighting one myself right now. So I forgot to do I was going to do a little joke, and I was going to say my favorite quote was, E.T. phone home, but yeah, that's not that funny. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Go check out Derek's channel, Derek and Mrs. B. They're great. They're one of my, they're my favorite couple and one of my favorite channels for sure. Go show them some support and tell them Toddy Walnut sent you, and consider entering his contest, and definitely subscribe and hit them thumbs up for him and leave some comments. That's what this is all about, man. Just have fun with this. And that's it for now. I'll see you guys later. Peace.